Hi everyone, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on this episode, part of my December specials, we're going to be talking about the Boutique Whisky Company and some of the new releases they've been putting into their advent calendars this year. I was lucky enough to take part in a tweet tasting where they sent me this lovely box, which is number 18 out of 24. There was 23 of us, and of course Dave Worthington, who works for the Boutique Whisky Company, and he is on Twitter at Boutique Dave. You should definitely check him out. Absolutely brilliant guy, well into his whiskey. And we went through actually 6 in the end. 6. But 2 of them were previous releases and a little bit of a mistake, which I'll go through a bit later on. But let's get into these drams. I'm going to do them in ABV order, tell you a little bit about them. Unfortunately, I don't know the prices, but I'm going to put up their lovely artwork that they do just up here so you can see what's on the bottles. Remember, these are all half-litre bottles, they're all small batch stuff, so if you are interested in it, you have to go out and get them straight away because they do tend to sell out quite quickly. These are already poured out behind, so let's go into each one and see what we got. So, starting from the lowest ABV, we have the Blended Grain number 1, 50-year-old, batch 2, 46.9%. That's the bottom one. So, this has got amazing artwork. It's like a pirate ship made out of coconuts on the sails. It's very odd. A lot of them are very odd, and they're subtle hints as to where they've come from, if it's a secret, or little digs at the industry a little bit, or, you know, it's just subtle things. Like one of my favourites is the Tiddlywinks one. I can't remember the name of the bottle, but it's that's their sporting kind of sponsor. Their head person, like Hay Club has David Beckham. And the Boutique Whisky Company has a Tiddlywinks champion, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So let's go into the 50-year Blended Grain. Now for me, it's a little bit musty on the nose, but it's kind of endearing. I like that. Touch of spice and floral notes. Just a little bit of kind of tropical flavours, you know, like sweets, the tropical sweets you can get. Let's try. Loads more of them tropical flavours. Oh, it's so sweet and creamy. It's like it's literally like having one of those kind of fruit salad sweets that you used to get with the blackjacks and stuff. On the finish, there's loads of spice, and it ends in coconut, which is a very odd flavour to have. I would say Grain has it's very underrated. But it does need a good while in the cask, I think. At least 25 years, but 50 years. Real nice. Oh, yeah, I do like that. Let's move on. Bit of coffee. Let's move on to the next one. The next one, we have Glenlivet, 27 years old. Batch number 1. So it's the first one they've done from Glenlivet. And it's 48.7%. I didn't know that Glenlivet let people do stuff like this, so this is a real treat, this one was. For me, it's creamy and fruity. It's like, it's kind of fruits, but it's kind of a thicker, it's a really weird thing to say, a bit like thicker smell. But it's kind of got that typical Speyside signature in there. Kind of fruity flavours, appley sweetness, that kind of thing. Let's try. It's got bags of kind of vanillas and caramels on the start. When you swallow, it's just like this huge kind of spike of pepperiness that's really quite nice, very warming on the way down. And the finish is kind of like medium long, a bit longer than that. Medium long. Very tasty. Big fan of the Boutique Whisky Company, in case you couldn't tell. Okay, more coffee. Third, we have something that I've never really tried from before. So this is the Glen Ord 20-year batch number 1 single malt Scotch whisky, 51.9%. Like I say, I've never had anything from Glen Ord before, so this was an interesting one. Now, for me, on the nose, it's sweetness, sweet apples. It's one of my favourite tasting notes, that is sweet apples. I do get sweet apples a lot. But you can smell a little bit of the oak in there as well. It's kind of a woody character to it. It's quite clear as well, considering it's 20 years, but that's interesting, that is. Let's try. Oh, God, if I thought the other two were peppery and spicy, this one kicks the crap out of them. Oh, it's massive. Huge, peppery, kind of sweet notes going over your tongue. The finish is just never ending. It just carries on going and going and going. It almost tastes like it's got a little bit of smoke in it, but I really don't think it has. It's just that kind of spiciness on the palate. Yeah. I think it's a bit unfair to say because they're all really good so far, but probably my least favourite of the three so far, but literally only just. Okay, and last but maybe not least, we have the blended malt number 4, 6-year-old batch 1. This is 53.6%. Massive, massive amount. So it's a 6-year cask strength blended malt. This is one of those teaspooned malts, and they kind of hark towards that on their covers. They put a teaspoon on there, and what that means is if you get a barrel from, I don't know, any distillery, Glenfiddich for instance. Let's say I buy a barrel of Glenfiddich and I say I'm going to bottle this and do whatever I want with it. And what they can do is put a teaspoon of something else in there, like Balvenie or something like that. And that then becomes a blended single malt. I can no longer say that is a Glenfiddich single malt because it isn't, but it is a blended single malt with 1 teaspoon of something else in there. And that's what's happened here. So it's a teaspooned malt. I don't know what's in it. I've got a good idea what's in it, but a fairly new distillery, if you look at your maths, fairly new. I've been able to put out 6 years, and are willing to give casks away, not give away, but give to independent bottlers. On the nose, it's sherried. It's light, but loads of caramels. A bit like burnt caramel, not like really badly burnt, but like kind of charred caramel. Interesting nose. It's a bit odd. Let's try. Bags of warming sherry, which is really weird considering it's so clear. But 6 years, I guess, will do that. More kind of alcohol pepperiness on the way down. It's really quite strong, actually. When I tried this on the tweet tasting, it did benefit from a touch of water, but not much. I think there's not enough stuff coming from the cask after the 6 years to warrant the water. I think there's not enough to break down. You need more oils and more tannins and things like that to make water work effectively. But on its own, it stands up quite well. It's probably my least favourite of the 4, to be honest. But not by much at all. I think if I had to pick a favourite, it would be the Glenlivet 27, followed by the Grain, actually. I really do enjoy that. Then the Glen Ord, and then the blended malt number 4. Now, that's the 4 brand new ones. Do check them out. Hopefully they will be on sale, if not now, very soon, maybe early in the next year. They'll be coming out, and they'll be very limited release. Some of them only hundreds of bottles. I think one of them maybe a couple of thousand. But do keep an eye out for them because they're definitely worth a go. And if you do get to try samples, then don't hesitate. Now, at the top of the show, I said we got to try 6 drams, and there's a little bit of a mistake. So these are the other 2 we received. I actually received 2 labels with Islay number 1, batch 1. But when we opened the first Islay. Oh, it's just like super sherry. Super, like it's like literally may as well be a sherry. And Dave Worthington, he got in touch with us and said, I don't think that's Islay. So we checked it, no, not Islay. So they sent us another one. And sure enough, whew, yeah, that's definitely Islay. But both absolutely fantastic jams. I'll have to put up the artwork for these as well. This mystery one, though, turned out to be the 50-year blended #1, which is kind of a bit fabled. It's actually really rather nice, but it's very expensive, so I don't think I'll ever buy a bottle of it. But it's pure class. It's super sherry, but not a hint of sulphur on it at all. They've picked their casks super well. And it's another one of those blended malts, that kind of teaspoony nonsense that goes on, but so be it. If I get to try stuff like this, 46.6% that one is. But all very interesting stuff. I haven't had a bad boutique whiskey company whiskey ever. I haven't tried their whole range to be sure, but everything they do is super top quality. It ranges from sort of mid-40s upwards into the mid-50s and beyond percents. They never do anything at 40. It's all limited bottlings. They don't know how many bottles they're going to produce because they empty the casks, and however many bottles it makes, that's what it makes. I hope you've enjoyed this little rundown of their new stuff and a couple of things of their old stuff. Didn't try those, but never mind. Do check them out. Do check out some more videos on the channel, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got excellent content coming up all of December and on into 2018. Thanks for watching.